Welcome back to another episode of Fighting Words podcast with two dads. Just talk about the UFC, and we've got our predictions for UFC 307 coming in hot. As always, for all the listeners, before we get into it, subscribe to the YouTubes, give us a like on the video, share it with a friend, and we're excited to give our breakdowns of the main card. We don't do early prelims. We don't do prelims. Sorry, Carla. But we're here for the main card only, and I'm joined by my co-host Tyrelle. What's up, dude?
Excited to talk, man. It's a big card. It's always a great feeling to talk about, these bigger pay-per-view cards we get. Obviously, the fight nights are fun, but when we have these kind of cards with these kind of fighters, it's always fun to get on here and talk about them and give our thoughts.
And to all the fans that are like, you guys aren't real fans. You guys don't watch you guys don't cover the fight night card. Brother, we don't need to. We're watching them. Yeah,
we're watching.
You guys don't need our opinions. You guys need it for the pay-per-views. You don't need it for the fight nights.
Go listen to Michael Bisping or some of those.
Yeah, come to us for the fun takes. You don't have to. We're just two dads talking about the UFC. I mean, nothing more, nothing less, right? Haters gonna hate.
Leave some comments if you want us to talk about specific up and coming fighters. We'll definitely give you a little blurb and do a little video about it. We watch it all, guys. In an effort to save time here, we like to talk about the main card.
Yeah, we like what we like. So
that's right.
With that being said, we're going to start the evening off right with the main event of UFC 307, talking about the champ Alex Pereira and the challenger Khalil Roundtree. I'll be honest with you, Tyrell. I really struggled with this because I think Khalil is such a good striker, but I have to rewind and I got to stick to my guns from previous episodes where I said, why on earth would I pick anything but Alex? And I'm standing by that. I understand that Khalil is the glory killer. Any person that he's faced from Glory Kickboxing, he's beaten and he's knocked them out or at least beaten them handily. And I think that Khalil is a great striker, but I think the only option for Khalil is really to try to get him out early. If he doesn't, then, well, I think we might be seeing a long night for Khalil, or he's going to get knocked out in the third round. I just don't see any option that Khalil does better than Alex, and I don't know. It's one of those tough decisions where I don't really want to, I don't want to pick the champ. I think in my heart, I'm like, I'd love to see an upset, but I'd also be stupid to see to pick against Alex because we've just seen it too many times where he shows up, everybody's kind of questioning him. Is he going to do it again? And this guy reminds us again and again and again why he's the best. I mean, are his days numbered potentially as champ? Sure, because Magomed Ankalaev is waiting in the wings. But I personally don't. I just don't see where Khalil gets it done that he's not better than Alex. And maybe the Muay Thai is playing more into the effect of it than I'm thinking, but I just don't know. Like elbows are a crazy thing, but I don't see that being like a huge factor there because I think Alex is going to manage distance well and not let himself get uncomfortable. So I also think that Khalil doesn't do a good job at defending leg kicks, so I think that'll be a long night for my friend if he decides not to defend some of those. So I'm grinding with Alex. The champ keeps his belt. The hype train keeps on rolling. Who you got? Who you picking?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you here. I feel like we somehow let ourselves get talked out of believing in Alex for some reason. He hasn't been showing us that he does this every single time. His power is unmatched. I will say though, I'm picking Alex too. Let me get that out of the way. I'm picking Alex, but I will say that Khalil Roundtree presents a problem I don't think he's seen yet, and Khalil cracks. I'd be willing to say that Khalil hits harder than everyone else he's fought in the UFC to this point.
Even Jamal. Even Jamal Hill.
Yeah, I think so. I think he generates more power. Okay. And I am curious to see how that plays out. I think with his Muay Thai, I'm interested to see the range game and how it's played with them too. One thing I think Alex has to be careful of, which oftentimes I feel like he can hurt people with, is his dexterity and his ability to get that leg up high. he better be careful with Khalil. Khalil's fast.
Mhm.
I wonder if Khalil will be deceptively fast, and if he hits Alex, we may see a interesting fight because I think the leg kicks are going to be a problem. I don't know how he's going to stop him. I mean, I guess with the Muay Thai stance, he may be able to check him pretty
It's not
good.
great though. I mean, he's not good at it. Like if he's getting
I'm sure he's
kicked
been
by,
training. I'm sure he's
yeah.
been training for it.
But the other issue that he has is he drops his right hand a lot, and well,
Oof, the
yeah.
left hook, yeah, left hook of death. Obviously picking Alex here, but this could be a very interesting fight, depending on how it plays out. Khalil Roundtree is somebody that, like, this is what I'll say. If Israel Adesanya could hit him with that punch and knock him out, like, if this guy hits you, which I think he is going to be able to touch him, I think he will be able to touch him. We're going to find out how strong Alex's jaw is. Because I think most people, like, I don't think Yuri's, like, as big as what Khalil's packing, bro.
Hmm.
I think it's pause on that. That sounds crazy to say out loud. That sounded crazy to say out loud.
Dude,
That sounded
I was
crazy.
letting that
Pause.
raw.
Pause. Hold up, man. Pause all that. This is on the internet. I got children.
Hold up.
Pause.
Wait a minute.
But I think Alex is going to wrap it up. But I would not be surprised if it gets dicey for him at some point in this fight because I think Khalil can catch him with something.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
I like that you bring that up. Alex hasn't really seen that. I think that like that's the problem that he's presented all of the glory kickboxers too, that he's fought and beaten handily. Like
you know,
he is not like the others. It, I think you can go back to a few podcasts ago where I said I think Khalil should be next, da 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 da, da. And then when this fight was announced, it's like awesome, like this is great. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even think Khalil was gonna be fighting like at all because of the PED issue that had came up, and I'm glad to see that did get resolved. But then too, like I think I've been listening to a lot of MMA media this week, and a lot of people are writing him off, and I think that I could understand why they would want to write him off, but I also like think that we can't underestimate a guy who's hungry. And, I think he's tasted blood in the water with that previous fight against Anthony Smith. I think it'll be interesting to see just kind of how things shake out with Khalil and Alex there. It's one that I've wanted to see, and I'm shocked that we're seeing it, to be frank with you. I
and I'll
just,
be sweaty. I'm
yeah.
gonna be a sweat. I'm gonna be super nervous,
Hmm.
and I don't have a dog in the fight, but I'm gonna be
Yeah.
nervous because it's one of those fights. I feel like it's gonna make me uneasy
Hmm.
watching them fight. Um,
Yeah.
it'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And the other title fight that's happening on the card is going to be the co-main event, Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. Women who have never fought but were the Ultimate Fighter housemates, I guess.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
They were.
Juliana Pena coming off a 2-year layoff, coming back, title shot immediately. Um, I'm going to make it short and sweet. I think Juliana Pena is going to beat her. And I think it's going to be a boring decision, and it's going to be the one that's going to prepare us for the main event. I think both of these girls, like, always go to the distance. Like, there's no finishes, there's no nothing. And I think that,
Oh, whoa! Don't disrespect Juliana Pena like she didn't
well, except
submit
for
the goat.
yeah. Hey, man.
She submitted
Yes.
the goat.
But 8 of her last 10s have been decisions. So, uh,
Hey, the one time you're not though, think about the one time you're not a
I
decision
mean,
is against the
not
goat.
taking that away from her. I mean, it's
I'm
amazing.
taking it.
Don't get me wrong. She did what nobody else could. I think it's a pretty easy pick. I just don't like Raquel does everything good, but nothing great. And I think Juliana, the only thing great that Juliana does is that she thinks that she's the best striker in that division, and she is not. But she's going to keep marching forward and hitting you. And so I think that's enough for her to be like, yeah, I have the edge competitively. I'm the uncrowned queen. Like I deserve to get this title back, and I think
Yeah.
the sport's a lot more fun with Juliana too. I think that Raquel is just kind of a boring piece of paper. No disrespect, Raquel, you could beat me up in person, but at the same time, the thing is about that is that we're talking about you guys fighting, not me and you fighting. I don't like. It's not to disrespect Raquel at all. I think she's a fine fighter, but like I I've been on the podcast repeatedly saying I don't think this is a championship that she deserves.
No.
Yeah, did she get there? Or sure, did she earn it, quote unquote? Sure, but I don't think that she's a deserving champion by any means. And I think she's a temporary holder for Juliana, who's a very temporary holder for Kayla Harrison. So, what do you think about this fight? You have any counter talks to my choices here?
No, we're in agreement. I
Oh
think
wow.
Raquel Pennington, I think she sucks. I'm being honest. Like, Raquel Pennington, you suck. I'm not going to lie to you. Your record's horrible. You're not good. And the championship fight you had was awful to watch. Like,
Horrible.
they should have ended that fight with nobody getting strapped. Like, it just was a
Yeah.
waste of time. They should have kept it vacant after that. But one thing I like about Juliana Pena is like she does want to be the face. Like she
Mhm.
embraces that. She talked about that today. She was just saying like, Raquel Pennington turned down being on embedded and stuff. She didn't want to be on that. She didn't want to do any of that or like any of the media obligations as a champion. So she doesn't want to be paraded like one. Well, why have the strap if you don't want to do the things to like it's a part of the job. So yeah, go ahead and move her out the way. Like get out the way. You're boring. You're not fun to watch either. That's not saying Juliana Pena is fun in the octagon necessarily, but what she provides outside of the octagon and that thing about that part of the business, she does a great job.
Yeah.
And she's going to stir
Yeah.
stuff up, and that's what we want. We want her to stir
Yeah.
stuff up.
Yeah.
She's going to talk crap about people. But I think this fight ends I think it's a submission. I think she finishes her. I think
You
she
think
submits
that?
her. I think
Yeah.
she does. I think she overwhelms her and submits her. I don't think Raquel may be a better striker than her, but it goes back to like what she did to Amanda Nunes, right? She kind of just smothered her. I'm gonna keep throwing
Well,
these punches at you. I'm gonna make you tired. I'm gonna get you down. I'm gonna submit you. That's what's gonna happen.
we can't forget they're fighting at altitude too. They're fighting at Salt Lake City, which
That's
that plays
rough.
into the first like other fight that we really didn't talk about much. I meant to bring that up. I think
Yeah.
that affects that fight a bit more than we're realizing. I think it affects this fight tremendously, and I think Raquel is going to be like, "I'm going to try to take you down," and she's going to get tired after the first one, and then Juliana's just going to keep walking forward. And I think busyness gets the business. I think that her staying busy on the feet is going to be more than enough for her to get her hand raised at the end, and I think we'll see that because
Yeah.
Juliana might look like she's doing a lot, even though she's hardly hitting you, but at least she's doing something. And
Hot take. Hot take
yeah,
coming in.
hmm
Juliana Pena whoops Kayla Harrison. Whoops her. And I feel confident saying that. That's not like even joking. That's dead serious too. I really believe that. I think she beats her. I think Kayla, yeah, you can take down Submit Holly Holm, cool, but who couldn't if you're dominant like that? Juliana Pena can wrestle.
hmm
So if you want to wrestle, let's do it.
yeah,
And Kayla Harrison striking's not great. So
horrible.
what we talking here? Like, so if the stalemate it out on the wrestling part of things, you can't really get her down. You're gonna get tired, but she can strike better than you, Kayla.
hmm
Who gonna win? I think
hmm
Juliana can beat her. I think she whoop her. I do. Also, those lights is bright, bro. This ain't over there fighting in the PFL.
Yeah, this
You
is
fight for this.
different.
You fight for this strap. While this girl talk trash to you for months leading up to that fight, and gets in your head. Can you handle that pressure? Because she gonna come with it. If she if
Juliana
she
can handle it, man.
if she pulled up on Amanda Nunes like that and did that to her, why would she be scared of you?
Yeah,
She's gonna belittle her. She's gonna make her. She's like you fought nobody. She's gonna talk crazy to Kayla and downplay her, and that can get in your head if you're not used to that. Most of these girls that Kayla's gonna fight in the UFC are not gonna talk trash to her.
yeah.
Juliana Pena is going to talk trash to you, and but then she can back it up. She's so durable and tough. Like the last time she fought Amanda Nunes, Nunes should have finished her, bro. She should have finished her. It's insane she didn't get finished. Like
Yeah,
this, she's very tough. So I think that it'd be a very tough fight, and I'm willing to die on that sword and say I got Juliana Pena beating her. So
that's
remember this
crazy. I
episode,
mean,
guys.
yeah. I mean, I know you're adding a little flavor. Juliana's got to win this weekend still, but I mean,
Easy money.
it's hard for me to disagree. I don't know if I have that, like, if I'm ready to lock it in yet. I think I'd be interested to see kind of how this weekend plays out with Kayla also needing to win to get to there. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason that these two got stuck on this card together. And there's a reason that the UFC does certain things. They want to build the storyline. And if Raquel ends up winning, okay, cool. Like that, we know that the path is clear. If Juliana ends up winning, okay, cool. We know that the path is clear. Like one of those two things are going to happen, and we just can't. We'll talk about her opponent in a little bit, but they're hoping and they're banking on that. Spoilers don't happen for Juliana and for Kayla, that's for sure. It'll be an interesting fight to see. I think it'll be one of those ones where I'm going to have to, maybe get up and walk around a little bit because I think we're going to see a 5 round decision. I don't think we're going to see anything super crazy, but hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened, and if Juliana decides to break Raquel, that'll be very fun to watch. Um, the bantamweight fight on the card, though, the return of the King of Rio, good old Jose Aldo. He is back with Mario Bautista. This is an interesting fight, and I think a lot of people are just defaulting to, hey, Jose's more experienced. He's getting the dub. I have a little bit of hesitation picking him. I don't think the takedown's going to be there for Mario, but this is my hot take that the volume, as we've seen, that Jose can't handle, is going to show up again in this fight. Now, granted, yeah, like we're fighting at altitude again. Is Mario going to gas out? But it's just a 3 round fight, so he's got to win 2 out of 3 if it goes to decision. I have a hard time picking Jose Aldo, but I also have a hard time picking Jose um, in this fight specifically because of Bautista's output and also the fact that people know how to beat Jose. They know how to engage with him. They know how to point fight him, and this has not been a surprise to anybody for years. And when Max beat him, obviously he flatlined him, but like, um, we know that like Max is special, but I think that the blueprint is volume over Jose. He likes to slow things down. He likes to be defensive. He likes to not have you on your game plan. And Jan beat him with volume and power. I mean, Marab, even though he beat him in a very boring fight, I mean, like Mario should just not go for any takedowns, increase the volume, and just see who's left standing there, and just make sure you're not standing in the way of his power shots. And I think he gets not an easy dub by any means against the King of Rio, but I think that this is a bad fight for Jose, and I'm willing to eat crow and like say like, hey, like this is a bad take, but I just reading the numbers and kind of seeing where things are at, it's hard for me to pick against the young guy in this fight. So the volume's there. I think he's got the pace. I think he's got that, and I think he's got his number. So what do you
Yeah.
think?
Uh, well, so far we're agreeing on all fights, which is surprising here. We
The
don't usually
vibe
do this, guys.
scared me.
Um, I just think that the King of Rio retired for a reason,
hmm
and when he came back and got that win last time, cool. It was in Brazil, wasn't it? So he probably wanted to fight
Yeah.
there. It's cool. I think he's overstaying his welcome here in this way, and I think it's dangerous for him. And I think that it's just going to lead to more losses. And I don't think he gets this win. I think Mario does take him down some,
Mm-hmm.
but I get what you're saying. At altitude, maybe it's not a great idea. I think he's prepared. I think that this is not, obviously we know this is not Jose Aldo of the past. So I think he's going to have a tough night with this kid in a 3 round fight. The kid may even steal rounds by just getting him to the ground and being on top of him for it, not even doing a
Right.
lot of damage. And that, what I'm saying, it may not be the most entertaining fight. I prefer it to be a stand and bang fight. That'd be fun, but
hmm
it probably won't be that. That kid will probably stick to his game plan and find a way to get the win, which I can respect. And yeah, Jose Aldo is just talking like this. Move on, bro. This retire. We know who
I
you are,
think
what
he's
you
fighting
offer the
out his
sport.
contract so he can go box. I don't think he's really
Uh,
interested in re-signing with the UFC. I think he's just trying to check some boxes and get out, which an
this is
unmotivated fighter to fight out his contract is not. That's not that
that's not
attractive.
great. It's not great to
Yeah.
go in there and box somebody who's a killer,
hmm
but he got 2 losses for a reason. It's going to
Yeah.
be dangerous in there.
hmm
How's Jose 10th? How's he ranked 10th in that
I don't know,
division?
man. I don't know.
What the?
Respect, probably. I don't understand it because he wasn't in the rankings forever because he retired and now
Yeah,
he's back after
yeah, it's
beating
crazy.
somebody who's not even ranked. So I don't know. I don't know. Rankings in the UFC don't make sense, but whatever. Um, the women's bantamweight fight on the card: Ketlin Vieira versus Kayla Harrison. We were talking about this before the podcast. I've had this weird feeling in my guts about this fight for a while. So this is my vibes pick of the evening, and I think you and I are probably picking the same thing. But I think Vieira is gonna surprise Kayla, and we're gonna see a beat down, and not like a like where Kayla is like dead on the canvas by any means. But I think it's tough for Kayla to get down to this weight class, and we knew that the last time she fought there, and she has to be so intentional about her weight cut. And granted, getting there and getting to that weight is like half the battle. The other half of the battle is winning. And I think a lot of people are like, it's a no-brainer. Kayla's going to win. It's like last time we thought that, she lost. And like I think that it's okay to reasonably doubt some of these contenders here that have come over from Bellator or from PFL. Like it's okay to doubt them because they haven't been fighting the same talent. And Vieira's not like she's not like the best fighter in the world, but she's beaten seasoned vets. She's beaten good grapplers. She's beaten people that, for all intents and purposes, probably should have, beaten her. When she shows up, she finds a way to win. And we are talking about her takedown defense. It's what 92%. You said, I think
Mm-hmm.
before this, 92% is a significant number. Now, I'm sorry to steal your thunder if you're going to go into it.
Kayla's is 100, by the way.
Yeah, Kayla's is 100 takedown defense. Yeah,
Yeah,
shocker.
right. Anybody taking her down?
Yeah, but I
Not in
think
this
that's a
fight.
stat. Like,
Yeah.
I hope it's not just like Kayla grabs her and lays on her. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'll be an interesting fight. I think it'll go all 3 rounds. I think it'll be a close decision. That will go to the Brazilian. So, how do you feel about this fight? You vibing with me? Are we 4 for 4 tonight on the
No,
picks?
no,
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 no. You're going with
no.
Kayla. Okay.
Kayla's going to dominate her. She's going to get her
Okay.
in the first round finish.
Interesting.
I think. I just don't. I don't think. I don't think she can handle. Like I think that there's something when you fight someone that you obviously know has a dominant force of some sort. Like remember how
Mm-hmm.
Justin Gaethje was like terrified of Khabib, even though he's a collegiate wrestler, he still had like this uneasiness in the
Mm-hmm.
cage, knowing
Yeah.
like, okay, if this guy gets me, it's going to be a problem. I think even though Caitlyn has that 92% takedown defense, it hasn't been against somebody like Kayla Harrison.
Yeah.
So with that girl coming at you with how physically imposing she looks too when she
Mm-hmm.
gets in there, she's gonna press her, bro, and she's gonna get her down. And then can you get her off you when she feels like a ton of bricks on you? Probably
Yeah.
not, bro. And like she's gonna flatten her out and probably choke her out too, or beat her by punches. I just don't know how Caitlyn would get up. Like if she gets her
Mm-hmm.
down, and then yeah, like obviously wild things happen. Maybe she stuffs a takedown. Kayla gets discouraged, tries to strike like some on some Ronda Rousey stuff, and gets hurt.
No
But like
thanks.
I
Yeah.
don't see that happening. I see her sticking to her game plan. She obviously comes from a great training camp. We know that DP's from it. A lot of great. Mike
Mm-hmm.
Brown's her coach, right? We know a lot of good fighters come out of that camp. The game plan is going to be the game plan. Caitlin's going to be in trouble. Like she's going to probably get taken down and flattened out very quickly and pounded out. And then we'll get a Kayla Harrison. She'll be able to pop her ish on the mic afterwards and call for a
Mm-hmm.
title shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Quick order.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you're saying is absolutely probably going to happen, but instead
Get
of
your
me doing
vibes.
vibes picks for all of my picks, I'm just going to pick the one. I think I gotta rein it in. It's hard for me to disagree with anything what you said, but I think for me, I will always root for the unlikely to happen, and we're in that realm of this is unlikely to happen, but cool. It'd be fun. Be fun to see something shake up.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
there have been crazier things that have happened, so yeah. But I agree. I mean, when you're so hyper specialized in one thing, I think it's hard to look past anything else. So, I should say, look past anything else. It's hard to like see how this wouldn't play the ultimate factor in getting a win for Kayla and her judo and her wrestling. So
Yeah.
she's talented, man. There's no question about it. But I'm sticking with my guns and my vibe. So Ketlin, just don't let me down, even though the vibe's been pretty down lately. So, but the first fight of the card, and we'll round out the show here with Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. Now, before I give my analysis on this fight, because I have a pretty spicy take on this one, who you got? Who you
Are you trying to
picking?
put it on me?
I'll put it on you because I'm about to bring the heat. So,
That's funny. I all right. This is what I think, man. Oof, this is tough. My gut, and I'm not a vibesy guy, so I'm going gut through and through. My gut is telling me that Kevin Holland can't beat him.
yeah.
That Kevin Holland can't beat him. It's just the level of competition that Kevin typically beats is not Roman Delete. It's just not. I know Delete like like it's not the same level of competition. And when we see Kevin step in there with the upper echelon of the divisions he fights in, we see him struggle. Right, the people he's knocked out are people. Okay, cool. Like they're not people that we revere or see as great fighters in divisions. There's some good like mid level fighters. This ain't what that's about to be. This guy's
No,
been in some big fights, and he's a big dude. And like, I don't think Kevin's ready for this. Like, I think it's going to be problematic for Kevin. Kevin still can't stop takedowns, right?
no.
So if Roman's like, I'm gonna take you down, guess what? Kevin's going to do go to the ground and lay there. So I think Kevin's going to be probably trying to be chatty this fight, try to talk a lot, try to distract so he can catch a shot. I just think Roman's too locked in. I think Roman dominates. I think it's not. I think it's a one sided fight, and that's
The
my gut.
fact the fact that Roman Dolidze is the underdog here makes me want to put money on it because I'm just like, what in what realm? This guy just fought Anthony Smith on short notice at 220, 205. Like,
Yep.
what are we doing here? Like, why is this a fight that they booked? Because we know that Kevin Holland is just a welterweight, like that's fighting at middleweight. That's what he was when he was beating all those guys that weren't,
Yeah.
necessarily top 15 quality. But like, whenever we put him in front of somebody at 185 that was decent, like he just got dominated. And Roman Dolidze
Yep.
is like the top of the division. This is a fight, really, if I'm being honest, just keeps him busy. Like this is I hate to sound disrespectful to Kevin Holland, but this is a keep him warm for a bigger fight. Like,
The spar session.
yeah, exactly. Like hold my mitts,
It's
Kevin. I'm about
there's
to
no
go. Oh, yeah, I don't
there's no
understand.
threat.
I think the striking will be interesting because Kevin, I think, is a little bit more flashy. He's not maybe quick is probably the,
Quick
and I
and
think he'll,
deceptively strong and
yeah,
deceptively at welterweight.
yeah.
I don't know how that translates to
I mean, he
middleweight as
did knock
much.
out Jacare, so we'll give him that. But like, yeah, I know. He's an older man at that point.
Yeah,
Let's be clear.
he's 67
I
years old.
yeah, I just don't think Kevin. Like, I just don't like. We're talking about two different weight classes here. Like, and that's just like abundantly clear to me. Like,
Yeah,
we're talking about a guy who's literally like stacked up against Marvin Vettori and is bigger than him. Like, even though he lost, like, as a controversial loss, but like, even though he lost, like, that was still like a good fight. I mean, he
yeah,
defended the takedown well. He had his own power. He lasted through the 5 rounds. I mean, like, it was.
yeah.
And that's him tested. So I'd hate to be Kevin Holland and running into this man who's fresh, ready to go, 185 primed. There's just a power difference, and I don't think the odds makers are being fair to Roman Dolidze at all. I think maybe just because Kevin Holland has his own like brand, I guess, but like
Yeah.
I don't know what they're seeing in this fight that makes it so much like differential there. I mean, I just don't like. I don't see the difference there. So I think Roman Dolidze hits running away from it, and I think Kevin Holland probably, if he's not gonna start stringing some more wins together, maybe needs to go get that paycheck over somewhere else. I mean, I know he fought Michelle Olajaychek, I think is his name, and like, yeah, he submitted him, but like, again, we're talking about a guy who's not the top of the division. He's still trying to find his way into the division for 170. He lost to MVP. He's really not strung together any sort of good fights lately. I mean, he knocked out Santiago Ponzinibbio, but like, okay, like
Right. Right. Exactly. I
anytime
mean,
yeah, it's
this
tough.
this is a different type of fight for him.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
guy is going to present a lot of issues, and those guys, that he has beat, it's like I feel like they're. This sounds probably wrong to say. I just don't think they're as serious. They don't. They're not as serious like about this, and I feel like Roman Dolidze he's very serious about it, and I think Kevin Holland can be a little silly in there. I don't think this is the guy that's going to be silly with you. I think he's
No,
going to try to hurt you and not play into your games. He's going to try to hurt you,
yeah,
and it's going to be
it
a miserable 3 rounds for you, Kevin Holland.
yeah. Well, Roman Dolidze, yeah, he's a Georgian, so of course he's going to be serious in there. I mean, Rob and him probably fist bump before he goes out, like that type of thing. Like, well, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a man who's fighting for country right now. So like, I don't know. It's Kevin Holland. Probably time to start looking elsewhere, or just be content with being a gatekeeper, and that's as good as you'll be. So
Yeah,
yeah. So I think we're to put a wrap on that good old UFC 307 prediction show. Excited to see the results roll out. And yeah, let us know what you pick picked, who your picks, who you're rolling with for this fight card. Give us some predictions down in the comments, and like I mentioned at the top of the show, subscribe, leave us a like. We'll be doing these shows whenever there's big fight cards coming or we want to have something to talk about. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.